Now we move into two different methods or approaches utilized in educational research: quantitative and qualitative methods. Quantitative researchers collect numbers and quantities as basic data and employ a whole array of statistical procedures to analyze data, whereas qualitative researchers record words, pictures, or videos as data and identify patterns and themes in those data that result in narrative interpretations that create meaning. Quantitative and qualitative methods do not always have a sharp distinction, because qualitative data can be converted into quantitative data when we count frequency of particular words or phrases in a text or measure the time elapsed between different observed behaviors. Triangulation is the use of multiple methods to study one research question, which researchers often use to enrich their research. Quantitative and qualitative methods vary in motives. Quantitative is often used in research when the motives are explanation, description, and evaluation. Qualitative is used oftentimes for exploration, but can be utilized for explanation, description, and evaluation processes. Types of educational research. Descriptive research defines and describes education. Measurement and sampling are often a concern in this type of research. Survey research is often used for descriptive purposes. Researchers define what they are studying and describe the social phenomena of interest. Descriptive questions, for example, are: what patterns of viewing do children have in early childhood, and how do they differ from viewing habits of older children? What types of TV programs do young children watch? Exploratory research. This type of research seeks to find out how people get along in the setting under question, what meanings they give to their actions, and what issues concern them. The goal is to learn what is going on here and to investigate phenomena without explicit expectations. This type of research captures large amount of unstructured information and usually involves qualitative methods. An example of an exploratory question is: how does classroom social context affect a disabled preschool child? Explanatory research seeks to identify cause and effects of educational phenomenon and to predict how one phenomenon will change or vary in response to variation in some other phenomenon. Examples of explanatory questions are: is maternal employment in the first year of life associated with negative child outcomes in the first 3 years of life? When mothers work during the child's first year, do children suffer cognitively? Evaluation research is a type of explanatory research, but differs from other forms of explanatory research because evaluation research considers the implementations and effects of educational policies and programs. An evaluation question may ask: is the Early Head Start program working? Exhibit 1.4 from page 12 of your text summarizes the types of research in their relation to goals and methods. Take note of each research type, goal of the research, method employed to answer the research question or questions, and possible techniques. For example, the goal of a particular exploratory
researcher may be to better understand what is going on, so a qualitative approach is used by making observations and conducting interviews. Educational research philosophies or paradigms include positivism, post-positivism, interpretivism, and constructivism. Different educational researchers are guided by these four philosophies or schools of thought. There are other research philosophies, but we will only discuss four. A philosophy in this case means a viewpoint on what constitutes educational reality. Positivists believe there is an objective reality or truth that exists outside of the perception of those that observe it. And the goal of research is to better understand this. And the way we understand this reality is through observations. This philosophy is traditionally associated with the natural sciences such as chemistry, physics, and biology. Researchers from this school of thought believe universal laws of human behavior and the belief that scientists must be objective and unbiased to see reality clearly, and that a well-designed test of theoretically based predictions can move us closer to understanding actual educational processes. Post-positivists believe there is an external objective reality, but they are very sensitive to the complexities of this reality and to the limitations of researchers. Thus, this educational philosophy does not believe we can ever be sure scientific methods allow us to perceive objective reality. Instead, the goal of science is to achieve this intersubjective agreement among scientists about the nature of reality. This school of thought is skeptical about research results that support the theory until a number of researchers report such evidence. This is where the intersubjective agreement comes into play. Interpretivists believe educational reality is socially constructed, and the goal of the educational researcher is to understand what meanings people give to reality, not to determine how reality works apart from these interpretations. This school of thought is sometimes referred to as the interpretivist term. Constructivist extends the interpretivist philosophy by extending the importance of exploring how different stakeholders in a social setting construct their beliefs. The philosophy helps researchers to develop a consensus among participants about how to understand the focus of inquiry.